When you're going through a separation and you're going to be living in different households, you're going to need to come up with a custody schedule if you have children that are under 18 as to when each parent is going to have the children, whether that's during the day or overnight, who's going to be responsible to pick up the children from school or activities. Um, so, the best way to go about that is to try to look at the schedule that you exercise now. But sometimes, not being in the home, you might want to have an increased amount of time. So when you're preparing, if you can go through and come to an agreement, that's always best, but that's not always going to happen. And you may find that you have to go through court. So in Pennsylvania, the court has different factors that they're looking at. So the best way to prepare for your custody case is going to be looking at those 16 factors and trying to think of examples where that factor would benefit you. So, for example, if you're thinking you want to have a 50-50 custody schedule, you might consider moving closer to the party that's parenting with you because the further apart you live, it's going to be more difficult for the children to go back and forth equal time. Um, the other thing you're going to be looking at is who encourages and permits frequent contact with the other party. So you're not going to want to be withholding the child from the other parent. You're going to want to look to be a cooperative parent. But some things also that the court's looking at are abuse of a party or drug and alcohol history. So if you have been drinking excessively because you were in an unhappy marriage, you may want to go get treatment for that, or you may want to get evidence that that's no longer the case. Maybe you can do sober link and take tests on a regular basis, which would be a piece of evidence you could bring to court to show that you're no longer drinking. You would want to be involved with the child, with the doctors. You want to be involved in their education with the teachers. Things that generally you're going to bring to court on custody to prove your case are going to be photographs. You're going to take photographs of your child's life to show what they do at your home, what their home looks like, what their bedroom looks like. If they have friends or they have siblings, that's something the court's going to look at. Maybe their step brothers or sisters, but you want to show that there are other relationships that enhance the child's life. And pictures are a great way for someone to get a picture of what life is like for your child when they're with you. You're going to want to bring in text messages and print out any messages between the other parent or messages you've sent to the parent that show that you've been cooperative or you've offered extra time, um, those type of things. So probably not best to discuss the case with your child, even if the child's going to have to talk to the judge eventually. You don't know if they're going to have to talk to the judge or a psychologist. So it's best to keep your children out of the equation because the court can sometimes pick up if a parent has unduly influenced a child. But you're going to want to get their educational records, the schedule together, and then what attempts you've made to settle the case with the other parent. If you need help with your custody case, having an attorney go through that with you and preparing you for court is a critical and essential part of the custody process.